I'm going to show you how I'm using email marketing now in 2025 to grow strength of Saad, acquire more clients and students, but more importantly, give a lot of goodwill, a lot of value, and funnel people into one call to action, and how I'm going to drip feed content over time and show you the back end systems of what it looks like to create a more creative, a more engaging email marketing funnel. So number one is success leaves clues, and I cross-analyze people in in associated industries, and I compare what they're doing against my own strategy. And I can see James Smith, for example. First of all, he has one call to action. I got Hormozy to critique and analyze my own profile picture, and one of the critiques he had for me was that just have one CTA in your bio. And so recently I've made that change after a bit of resistance. And so you can see success leaves clues. You can see James Smith does it as well. And one of his main funnels right now is his business mentorship, which is a liken to a similar offering that I have, except mine is all encompassing and has much more than that, as well as business mentorship. And so given he not only has a component of email marketing in his mentorship, he has a great expertise and knowledge, but he's made millions of dollars through email marketing. Another example is Hormozy. And so what you want to do is you want to analyze the people who have much more resources and funds and network to you, and general specific knowledge expertise. And you have to understand that every detail, most details are likely done and analyzed. For example, they blurred this picture on purpose. They highlighted this on purpose. Why didn't they put the first name as a required field? Isn't that curious? Let me go to James Smith's required name is not a required field. And so I analyzed all this, and I'm going to show you the put together piece for a service-based business like myself who works with different clients and patients, but particularly, premium offering, working in and offering a very exclusive academy school experience called Trinity. And many of my students are watching, and I made this for you guys. So let me go into my Klaviyo and show you some behind the scenes here. So Klaviyo is my email marketing software that I use. It's been recommended to me from an email marketing expert who has made a lot of money and has been supported other businesses to make a lot of money. And so I'm not using MailChimp. I used to use it. Now I use something that's a lot more robust. And also James Smith uses it as well. Or what's one of the things he uses. So we have these different pages, and at different points, someone is going to, so what's the first page people see? So let's go to the subscribe page here and see why I did what I did. So first, I used a compelling image. That's to add some personality, just to add a flavor of me and something inspirational, aspirational, and authentic. It's me flexing in New York. Because that's where I live. And now, the copy. So let me show you what Smith did. Okay, same thing. His is more, I would say, personal opening. It's a big face, big smiling face. But there's also, like, this is me, I'm not always smiling. I'm not always like this. I considered using a photo like that, but instead I wanted to create something that was more aspirational to me. And so I made it very clear and very succinct about what I would deliver to manage expectations. And that's what you want to do. Short, succinct, and sharp. And I spent some time crafting this. This was not something I took lightly and just wrote up. I really thought about the verbiage, the wording, the phrasing, and the pain points. I will send you a couple of emails per week. So first, get clear on the deliverables. I'm not so specific where I'm going to tell them, I'm going to send you 2 emails per week, because I'm going to change my mind and it's not always going to be a fixed number. So I'm going to say a couple emails per week. That's something that I can reasonably sustain. That will help you break free. And I use the word free on purpose because a lot of the pain points of my market is attaining freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom from the limiting beliefs keeping you fearful, overwhelmed, and struggling financially. Now, these are key pain points and emotions that my people feel. I know that from working with having a really big sample size and also asking them. You want to ask your market what they're struggling with and ask them why they originally joined with you. What was the predominant emotions? It's a very good test that I get my students to do. And if you guys haven't done that, make sure you do. And that is asking your target market, or your people who you work with, like, what were you feeling right before you started working with me? Because then you're going to get an emotional map of what people felt, and then you're going to be able to communicate much more clearly to the people you want to work with. So I did that. I've done that. I'm always listening, and I'm hearing out. And those emotions that I've heard are fear, overwhelm, and struggling financially. I could have said financial scarcity. I could have said being poor, being broke, but struggling financially was, I have to pick the right words that are relatable, that are understandable, but are not too, I don't want to push people away necessarily. Okay, I want them to feel heard and seen. And then I tell them how I'm going to do it. Like, what's my USP here? Like, why should people even care about this? Well, unfiltered, unafraid, actionable ideas on health, business, and mindset. So those are three of the four pillars of Trinity. Unfiltered, unafraid. This is, well, a lot of people are yearning out for this. They're yearning out for just honesty. They're yearning out for people who aren't just going to toe the line and be so politically correct. And actionable. People want things they can practically use. But I'm not just telling people what they want to hear. I'm telling people what they're going to get. That is the thing. So I hold myself accountable by this standard. If I wanted to go further, I could add a VSL. James Smith, Hormozy, we could all add a VSL, and it's almost always a great idea to do that. I looked at it on mobile as well. I have to make sure I formatted it, and it's little details, guys. I'm looking at the styling, and what I'm doing, just to show you behind the scenes, I'm reducing the padding. Most of the padding is going to be pretty high, and it's going to be a lot of distance from the top. And why you want to reduce the padding is because you don't want people to scroll as much when they're on their phone. Because when people go on their phone, all they can really see is this. And I want them to be able to see the fields to fill out as soon as possible. I want to be able to see as much as possible. I could say, justify, remove the image. I'm not going to remove the image for now. I might A/B test to test which ones work better. But right now I'm going to keep that image and people can see the first email field to fill out. So I've reduced the padding, and I've reduced the padding. You can see on the left there, 0. I've reduced the padding on the left and right. So because originally it was this. So there's actually less words that are going to fit, and it takes longer to scroll. So I've reduced the padding on that, and I could do it further. Another thing you want to do is to make things cohesive appearance-wise. So previously, most email services will give you a contrast between the background and the actual content. I don't want to do that. I want really seamless, beautiful looking aesthetic content. And you see James here has that difference. I didn't want that. It pops out a little bit, but I wanted just a seamless look. And so that's consistent. They have a bit of a difference here. They have this purple accent, which is their branding. Red is synonymous with an emotive color, but it's the color of the red pill from the Matrix as well. So I'm putting in thematic things that are kind of, you gotta be aware and perspicacious and perceptive to be able to understand some of the references I'm making, subtle ones too. But I'm being creative. I'm also like, this process is more enjoyable for me because I'm allowing myself the freedom to do shit. Like, I'm not saying subscribe here, please. I'm saying unplug. I'm saying what it is. Next, what happens after they put in their name and email? And I didn't make email a required field. So I didn't make name a required field. I made it easy and effortless because I analyzed what some of the best were doing, and they didn't do that. I don't know why they didn't do it. They probably have A/B tested. They've probably put money and time in that I don't need to do, and they've acquired that result and that piece of information. That putting the required name as a field and not doing first name and last name, it gets lower conversion. I don't have to do all that testing. You can learn from what some of the greats are doing. Now, fortunately, I'm really good at writing copy. I'm really good at understanding psychology and the pain points of my audience. So I know how to write things that compel people and persuade people. I know how to speak in a compelling way because I read and I write constantly and I think. Most people don't because they're lazy. And it's too hard. Oh, I don't want to write. I don't want to read. Oh, my head hurts. Where's TikTok? 5-second TikTok brain can't read a page in a book. Ooh, shut up. All right, next. Then I'm putting photos. I'm putting these little almost like Easter eggs, like photos no one has seen. Like, ooh, who's that girl there on the side? A little bit of mystery. She's looking saucy, sexy, right? What's that about? That's not even on purpose. It was just the way it turned out, right? But it kind of is on purpose, but kind of not. Okay, so now it's time to work. We just sent an email confirmation to your we just sent an email to confirm your subscription. Click the confirmation link. Very basic thing right there. But then I'm giving them like something inspiration, something to think about. You said tomorrow, yesterday. If not now, then when? Getting people to think. I'm trying to drip feed my own, because that's what I want to drip feed pieces of content and philosophy of things to make people think. So another compelling photo of me that's unique, to pause them and they think. Very succinct. Time to work. It's not some generic thing. I'm making it me. I do the same styling elements. I'm making sure I'm looking at it mobile as well. And then I test all of this after. I don't just look at it on the PC. You make sure I look at it on mobile, make sure it's all clean. Then you have the opt-in email. You have a double opt-in. I used to not do double opt-ins. The reason why I suggest double opt-ins is because you actually don't want just a massive list. You want a list that's really engaged, 30, 40, 50% click-through rate, which I have. And so one way to one way to increase that is to have a double opt-in. So click the link below to confirm your subscription and receive emails from Saad. Yes, I want to receive free emails to help me grow my mind and business. Okay? So the confirmation is linked to what they're going to receive. They're more likely to click on it if it's that, compared to if it's just click here to receive emails or something generic like that. Then I'm starting to educate them right now. I'm starting to give them tips right now. Tip. Because I know business owners are looking at this. Coaches, health professionals, up and comers. Tip. If you're setting up an email list, you want to do a double opt-in like this to create a high quality subscriber base so your emails are less likely to be marked as spam. I'm giving them content straight away. They haven't even received an email from me. I thought, how can I teach right from the beginning? And there's opportunities everywhere, but you be creative. Think about the meta example, and this is a meta example that I'm teaching. It's like, they might have just learned something. You guys probably didn't know that. Most people watching probably didn't even know that. So now you learned something before you even receive the information. It's like, what's going to happen when I receive an email? No image here, just really clear call to action, big red button. Success page. Another image of me looking suave. Strength of suave is what they call me. Strength of suave. Sipping on rosé with a gift. Now, success pages are usually generic. Once again, no, I'm just going to give you more value straight away. Not only am I going to teach you tips, I'm going to give you more gift. Here's a gift to start you to get your money up. My custom-built simple income expenses tracker all my students use to help them save and make more money. There's a link. It goes to the create a copy. So anytime you want to do a spreadsheet, there's a way you can send it to people where it creates a copy automatically. All you have to do is finish the URL with / you know what? Just fucking Google it, man. Just Google it. But it's just / copy. But you have to remove a few characters beforehand. Just chat it, AI it. $1,000 has been invested to make it. So now I'm giving them some understanding of, okay, this isn't just some spreadsheet that I'm just giving. This is not some just intangible. This is not some flippant gift. I'm just, here you go. No, this is really valuable. I'm trying to put some weight to it in a very simple line. And then I share the video of how to use it. And then, it's also some subconscious, not programming, but influence. It's like, hey, if this guy looking this good is using something like this, maybe I need to do something like that too. And so it's influence in a positive way. I want to influence people to do a positive action for themselves. Unfortunately, but not even unfortunately, just the reality of things that people need to kind of see and taste a little bit of materialism because people are driven by status. They're driven by many things, but status is one of them. And so to put those pieces in there helps people make a decision that's better for themselves. So I'm aware of this. So here's that. That's what it looks like on mobile. All right. So that's the 4-step process. That's how I'm more creatively walking people through a sign-up process that isn't now so generic, boring, and sliced bread. Now, I even go further. Let's say I go to the preference page, update preferences. So few people are going to click on this. Another suave looking image of me. I just made the effort just to put another image that almost no one's going to see. Okay. It creates a little bit of a story, it creates some flavor around the experience of something is usually just very mundane. All right. I don't want that to be. I want it to be going through like a video game and finding little Easter eggs. And here's an unsubscribed one, right? I found a photo of me with a what you doing face? Unsubscribe. And I don't just say unsubscribe. Look at the details here. Let me zoom in on you. The ship that abandons the lighthouse will still need it when the storm arrives. What will you do when your storm arrives? I'm getting people to think before they quit, before they unsubscribe from something that is hard to argue that is not very valuable. And then I don't put unsubscribe, I say quit, because I want to make them face the decision. They have to click that quit button if they want to unsubscribe. Now look, you're always going to get unfollows, you're always going to get unsubscribes. It's inevitable. There's going to be people who literally change fields and it's not personal at all. They just don't need this information because they're not even in the same field, right? So it's not personal. But nevertheless, for those people who are actually, who need to hear this message, that is what this is for. I push and pull people on purpose. It's all for them. It's not because I'm trying to be mean or unkind or an asshole on purpose. I much prefer to be kind. It's much easier, right? It's much easier. But a lot of people do not respond just to empathy and kindness, particularly men. Need to be pushed and pulled and incited to feel emotion, to make decisions, because people generally make decisions or bigger decisions emotionally and justify logically after. Anyway, that's what the unsubscribe looks like. I could add a video if I wanted to get really creative, but that's not high leverage right now. Success page. What does it look like? All right. Now I'm really pushing them. You've been plugged back in. Matrix style, because that's obviously a theme of what I do. And I've got a screenshot from the Matrix of Neo looking at all the pods. What am I saying? You're plugged back into the pods. The agents have plugged you back in. You've taken the blue pill. And then I've said something that I've never seen before. I just came up with it myself. I will transfer you $100 if you reply to this email and give valuable, insightful feedback as to why you unsubscribed. If your insight improves my business in a meaningful capacity, I will gift you $100. Yes, I am serious, because they're probably going to be skeptical. Feedback is the key to unlocking the door of growth, and if you have one of the keys, then I will pay you for it. All right. So why am I doing this? Genuinely, because I believe some people, even if it's just 1 out of 100, comes back to me with an email and he gives me there's a key. I'm like, oh, that's really good. That's actually quite useful. And I implement it and it helps the business and it helps me help support more people. Then I want to pay for that, because feedback is where you gather information to learn. Feedback is invaluable, but it's the right feedback applied. And so I will pay people for that. And I'll also push them and, poke them a little bit as to face their own consequences. And I don't say resubscribe, I say redemption. So again, just creative language that resonates with me and is authentic to me. So this is what the process looks like from start to finish, from unsubscribe to confirmation to the landing page. Now, I've changed my bio, and instead of having multiple links, I've actually changed the bio, and the photo will change in a minute, and the link. Put a bit.ly link. I've done this because I can track it. I can't track. You can pay for Linktree, that's fine. You pay for bit.ly, it's fine. I just looked at what James was using, and I've used Bitlinks before, and I'm using it again now. So I'm able to track data and information from that. And so instead of having multiple calls to action like I did before, I had my nasal strip business, I had my website, inquiry call. Okay, I just want to funnel people. You just want to funnel people to one call to action. And gathering emails is going to be a very powerful mode of marketing that I'm going to be utilizing. It has massive potential now. It's had potential for a long time, but it's going to just help funnel people very clearly, directly, and succinctly into one place. Because no matter what happens to my social media, my Instagram, my YouTube, it can all get taken away. But one thing that you'd make an argument for that is the most valuable is no one can take a CSV file from you. No one can take 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 list of emails in your CSV. You can upload that anywhere. They can even, Klaviyo can block my account, MailChimp can. We can create our own email marketing software. It doesn't matter. We can find a way around that. But it's the emails and the people who have opted in to receive information. That data is invaluable. And this is why, Meta and these companies will pay so much money for it to gather information. And why people will do competitions. The UFC was giving away so much recently to run a competition just to gather people's emails. And what they did, and with this competition, is they gave away a ton of stuff. But to win, you had to opt in to receive emails from 10 different companies. Once I saw that, I'm like, that's clever. But I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I can't be bothered unsubscribing to 10 different companies just to, get a chance at winning something. But I was more curious in the marketing. And so funneling people to one place with click on it, see where we go. And the smaller your image, the faster this will load. You can see my image probably takes just half a second, a bit too long to load, depending on your internet connection. I could work on that. But the rest of the page loads, which I'm fine with. One funnel, one filter. Then from there, the next step would be you want to create a sequence of emails. Mr. Smith, what he does is one email a day for 30 days. And you can literally put your email in and you can literally do your own version of that. You can pay for his mentorship. He's great. You can do mine, whatever it is. Okay. Get mentorship. It's going to help you grow exponentially. In any case, after this point, what do you do? For me, I'm just going to funnel them into my regular email Trinity Unplugged private newsletter. Okay. There's things on there I won't share to the public. And, well, at least not most of it. Or some of it, I should say. And then from there, I can add a drip feed sequence that's predetermined and pre-qualified as, okay, what are the emails and what are the marketing messages? What's the communication style that I want to start with and end with to go from someone who's kind of a warm lead to someone who's a prospect, to someone who's then potentially on a call with me to become a client in some capacity. And so you need to instill a lot of goodwill through that process. So this is a mechanism for me to deliver a lot of goodwill. And you can see some of the most successful people at it, for example, these guys did not do email marketing like 2 years ago. You never got an email from Hormozi before. Now they are. Okay, there's a reason for it. They've identified as a big opportunity for them. It's low leverage on time, big outcome impact. So get access to free stuff that will actually grow your business, plus a golden ticket to Alex's next launch. Then a subtitle of how they deliver it, and the only thing they'll ask you for is email and number and business revenue. That they are. For them to do 3 required fields, it is not lightly they're asking for 3 required fields because they know that's going to increase the conversion rate. But they know that this will pre-qualify people in a way that actually gets them better conversion down the line. So everything is selected on purpose and it's very, very purposeful. So you must understand that. Even this ambiguity of this blurring right here, okay? They're showing you, what is this? What is that? I know these 2 first books, but what's that third one? And what's coming soon? So it creates some intrigue and mystery, which makes you want to actually put your information in. And James has made millions of dollars off this, and he has a business mentorship one somewhere, and that's another Hormozi one. And so now then you want to do a sequenced drip feed sequence from there, and take people in through your email marketing, and don't ask. I try not to ask really for anything for as long as possible. More present opportunities and frame things as opportunities. And when you do, create them with scarcity. If you don't just give a Calendly link out, that has 3-4 weeks of scheduling available, create some scarcity around yourself towards the end and deliver an overwhelming amount of goodwill that makes you almost question, am I giving too much? At that point, you're probably giving, at that point, you're starting to give enough. That you probably even need to go a little bit further. Because why should people buy from you or me or anybody? They buy from people they trust, they have a connection and relationship with. And particularly what I've observed to be the accelerator to that is if you can get in person or on a conversation and feel that energy. Once that happens, the level of trust and conversion and buying ability or buying, whether someone buys from you or not, is dramatically on orders of magnitude increased. And I've seen this time and time again, and it just makes me so bullish on in-person events, and group live events, and just one-on-one calls, which really do a few hours with somebody. And if you're good, you could probably, and you're good at what you do, and you are honest and authentic, and you're just generally good, you could probably get them to buy almost anything from you. And so to begin with, you need to do email marketing, and you are probably at a very big disadvantage if you do not. And if you want to see behind the scenes, you don't even have to, if you want to see behind the scenes of how I'm going to do it, all you got to do is put your email in, and then you'll see behind the scenes. You can study, you can take all the little things that I'm doing and apply it to your own.